Chapter 6, Mishnah 3. We have discussed repeatedly throughout this tractate that an Asham Tului must be brought by someone who suspects that he might have committed a sin punishable by Kereisos. This Mishnah cites three opinions as to whether it may also be brought under other circumstances. Rabbi Eliezer says a person may donate an Asham Tului any day or any time that he desires. Although a person is obligated to bring an Asham Tului if he is unsure whether he committed a sin punishable by Kereisos, he may also voluntarily bring an Asham Tului at any time. And a voluntary Asham Tului, was called the Asham of the pious. A Tana who wished to follow Rabbi Eliezer's view is stopped by his colleagues, who dispute Rabbi Eliezer's ruling. They said about Bava ben Buti that he would donate an Asham Tului every day, except for the day after Yom Kippur. He said, I swear by this dwelling place, the Beis Hamikdash, that if my colleagues would let me, I would bring an Asham Tului even on the day after Yom Kippur. Except for the day after Yom Kippur. He said, I swear by this dwelling place, the Beis Hamikdash, that if my colleagues would let me, I would bring an Asham Tului even on the day after Yom Kippur, because I hold like Rabbi Eliezer, that an Asham Tului is a voluntary korban that may be brought at any time. However, my colleagues disagree. They tell me, wait until you come to a situation where there is some doubt as to whether you sinned. Bava ben Buti's colleagues hold that an Asham Tului is not completely voluntary. It atones for sin and thus may be brought only when a person has a reasonable assumption that he might have sinned in some manner, even if it is not a sin punishable by Kereisos, and even if he is not aware of any sin. The day after Yom Kippur, a person has no sins to atone for, since Yom Kippur atones for all his sins. Thus, a person may not bring an Asham Tului until he waits one day, when it is again possible that he committed some sin, even if it is not a sin that is punishable by Kereisos. A third opinion, but the sages say, we bring an Asham Tului only for a prohibition that if done intentionally is punished with Kereisos, and if done unintentionally is subject to a chatas. It is not a voluntary korban and may not be brought unless a person has reason to suspect that he committed a sin punishable by Kereisos, which is the purpose for which the Torah obligates bringing an Asham Tului.